Honey, 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 you might want to go away and make yourself a cup of tea or something before you sit down for this review, because we are going to get into it. We are going to get into the lesbian labyrinth that is Generation Q. So much happened in this episode that I personally enjoyed. Some of you guys will already know why, and to be succinct, it's because it was a romantic episode and it was directed by Rose Trochet, which means it was well directed and it made such a difference. So the episode begins with Sophie and Finley. Moving on, Alice and Bet are out to lunch and they see Gigi and Nat in the same restaurant as them, and Bet says that's so gay. On the one hand, why was that gay? But on the other hand, when you're a gay person, everything is gay. So I get it. Anyway, I have to say Nat looks fine, and Alice, she just can't resist. She can't resist. I don't blame her, Nat looks like some kind of Celtic ethereal goddess with that beautiful auburn hair. And even though Alice had her heart completely broken after 2 seconds of seeing Nat, they are screwing in a car together. Why not? Did anybody else laugh when Alice's head was just poking through the roof of the car? I don't know, that just really made me laugh. But I don't know how I feel about Nat and Alice being entangled again. On the one hand, I'm just enjoying it because it's Nat and Alice and they're both beautiful. But on the other hand, is that the best idea when Alice has been so heartbroken and Nat is poly and it's not something she can change about herself? I'm just going along for the ride with those two. I'm not questioning anything. That road leads to madness in Generation Q. So if they're going to be together, cool. I think they've kind of set up a weird storyline because Nat has made a point about how she can't change, and then Alice is monogamous and she can't change. So yeah, we'll see. But I enjoyed the car sex. I did. Not the first time I've said that. So then we see Dany and Gigi having a little date together, getting some food together, their favorite thing to do. Apparently, I support my Persian queens. And they have an interesting conversation where Gigi tries to talk about what's happening between them, and Dany at first is a little bit dismissive, and then she opens up, and then they're communicating about their feelings, and we love to see it. But Dany still thinks that Bet has feelings for Gigi and is, trying to lock Gigi down. And I mean, we know that's not the case, but, she's just trying to be respectful. I get where Dany is coming from, and this is why I love Dany and Gigi so much. It's because they communicate. It is just because they care about other people. That's rare in both the L Word and Generation Q, where people are actually caring about other people's feelings and their actions. So that was a breath of fresh air. I really love those two having that chat and having that kind of communication. And man, okay, moving on to charity night at Dana's. Lord in heaven. All right, let's talk about it. First of all, I gotta talk about Alice in that suit. How many times have I gotta say it in these reviews? She looks like a goddamn fashion runway model. She looks like she's a judge on RuPaul's Drag Race. She looks so wow. God damn, the fashion. She's so well dressed. The wardrobe people, they must love Leisha. I've said it before, I will keep saying it. And if that wasn't enough fashion, Bet and Pippa also walk in looking like couture. It was fashion, darling. It was so fashion. Alice, flawless. Bet, flawless. Shane could use some work. So Carrie is also at this event. She's having a lot more to drink than she should. And at first I felt sorry for Carrie. I did. I kind of empathize with her on a level, and she's obviously someone with low self-esteem, and it was kind of heartbreaking, to watch Carrie this episode. And Carrie's conversation with Shane just really made me kind of feel bad for her. Like, genuinely, I was kind of a bit heartbroken about Carrie because, anybody who's had low self-esteem can definitely empathize with her this episode, and it's very difficult to watch. So she's had too much to drink, and then she tries to talk to Bet about wanting some kind of relationship with Bet. And of course, Bet is at this event with Pippa, so she's kind of on a date and she doesn't really want to deal with Carrie. Yeah, I don't think Bet was in the wrong with that conversation that she had with Carrie. She is correct about Carrie projecting her own emotional baggage onto Bet, or not necessarily projecting, but kind of trying to make it Bet's problem. You know, the way that Carrie feels about herself and her relationship with Tina isn't really anything to do with Bet. That's Carrie's own issue, that she feels intimidated by Bet and she feels that Bet is a more superior person to herself. And of course, that's to do with her own low self-esteem. Carrie's behavior was not healthy this episode. You know, she's a grown adult, but she's clearly battling some demons, and we've all been there. You know, we've all been messy people. So I'm not going to hate on Carrie for her behavior, but I'm also not going to hate on Bet for her response, because she was quite right. It's not her problem that Carrie is carrying a lot of emotional baggage and hang-ups. Like, that has nothing to do with Bet. I don't want to dig too deep into it and try to deconstruct it, because I don't know that much thought went into the writing process, and that's not a dig, it's just genuinely what I feel about the show. I don't think that much thought goes into it, so there's no point in me doing some kind of deconstruction. What I did like about this charity event is Dany. I really liked that, you know, she had that chat with Alice and Nat, and she was talking about how she wanted to be respectful. I don't know, I just really appreciate kind of polite, empathetic people. So yeah, I enjoyed Dany this episode, I really did, and she's good enough for my queen Gigi. I mean, they're both queens, and I am just I'm like a jester, so I'm gonna mind my business. Finley irritated me this episode for a number of reasons. The first of those reasons, why are you trying to talk to Dany after everything you've done to Dany? And not only talk to Dany, but trying to get advice from Dany, trying to get Dany to help you out in your new relationship with Sophie. What is wrong with you? And then trying to hug Dany. Stop it. Stop it. The second reason, it looked to me like Finley was drink driving, which is an incredibly selfish, fucked up thing to do. I know that it's like a TV show and it's not real life, but like, just don't do that. What's wrong with you? Pippa and Bet finally kiss. Yeah, that Bet and Pippa kiss, yeah. Thank you, Jesus. They finally kiss, and I enjoyed it. I don't know that I enjoyed it more than Bet and Gigi, I will be honest, but it's two different things, and I can appreciate both on different levels. And then, on to my favourite part of the episode. Dany goes to see Gigi, and we see Gigi in slippers and a robe, and she's still a daddy. Most of you guys would have already seen my reaction to Dany and Gigi kissing in another video, but it's safe to say I stopped breathing. I know some of you were concerned because I have a history of having gay strokes on this channel, and it wasn't a gay stroke this time, it was just I stopped breathing. I was clinically dead for 3 minutes. Look, the romance, the kissing in the rain, it is my favourite kiss in Generation Q so far. I don't just say that about every kiss that Gigi or Bet, I know I'm shallow, but I'm not shallow, I'm not. This is my favourite kiss so far in Generation Q, because it was so goddamn romantic, and I am a sucker for romance, and
drop everything now, meet me in the pouring.
Oh my god, it's a Taylor Swift romance. I apologise to those of you who don't like that, but you're gonna have to deal with it. It was soft, it was tender, it was beautiful, it was better than I expected. I didn't think the kiss was going to be that romantic. Shane and Tess end up taking Carrie home, and Carrie reveals in her drunken emotional state that she doesn't think that she can marry Tina. I called it. I can see the fuckery coming. I mean, I like Tina and Carrie together. I'm not exactly kind of throwing my hat in the air that Carrie wants to call off this wedding, or is probably going to call off the wedding. If you were gonna divorce Bet and Tina... So then Bet and Pippa, they get down to it, and Jennifer Bills put her thumb in her mouth, and Bet Porter put her thumb in her, same difference, put her thumb in her mouth, and I stopped breathing for a second time, and this time I was declared clinically dead for 2 minutes. Yeah, so it's an improvement. What I will say about that scene, I have to say it, there was a parallel between Bet and Pippa having an orgasm at the same time. Bet and Tina have a couple of love scenes where they orgasm at the same time, and they've kind of copy and pasted that with Bet and Pippa. Does that mean that Pippa has replaced Tina, or does that mean that Bet just can't get away from Tina? Don't ask questions. I would like to know the motive behind that, because it was obviously placed in there for a reason, and I think if I knew the motive, I would side-eye it a lot less. I understand that not every scene in Generation Q is going to be original, because what is original anyway? You know, the OG show, it spans 6 seasons. They're gonna run into some things which are similar, but that is very particular to Bet and Tina, so I don't know why they mirrored it. Yeah, so I'd like to know what you guys thought about that, because I'm in kind of like 2 minds about it. Ending on Sophie and Finley being pulled over by the cops. Thank God they got pulled over by the cops, because that genuinely really kind of, it was scary. I thought they were gonna crash. I did, and I just didn't want the episode to end on that, you know? Wow, maybe I don't hate Sophie and Finley as much as I thought, because I had a lot of anxiety about the thought of losing one of them. Oh, this is a new development. Okay. I want to make predictions for the last 3 episodes. It's just really difficult. It could go any which way with all of these characters, and Carrie could leave Tina at the altar. Carrie may even call off the wedding before it happens. Bet might see an opportunity to get back with Tina. Bet might feel guilty about Carrie leaving Tina and so steps in and tries to fix it. Pippa might screw Bet over at some point. Bet might relapse into some toxic behaviors at some point. Like, it could go any which way. I loved this episode. It was just so well made, and it had Dany and Gigi, it had Bet and Pippa. I like both of those couples, so it was a win-win for me. And as I say, Rose Trochet, just chef's kiss, really well done. I just felt like I was watching an actual show. It's like night and day compared to other episodes, you know? Okay, guys, I can't wait to know all your thoughts on this episode, because there's a lot to talk about. I want to know everything. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for instant disappointment, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.